Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Boy, do we have a super show coming up for you in a minute. So let's get our weather first. We're going to be warm today. Our weather brought to us by Drew Pollard's company, Gulf Coast Air Conditioning up here in Southport. Up to 72 degrees today. Got a little warmer trend. We'll have that front coming through in about a day or two, so be ready for that for the weekend. But the low tonight is going to be 59. Water temperature of 57. It dropped about a degree, so that's going to be important. Our river readings. Apalachicola, Bluntstown, it's on the way down. It's at 11.8 this morning. Still dropping out, but that's still high for the Apalachicola. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, 6.4. It's dropping out just a little bit, not much movement. And we'll just see for the weekend what's going to happen if we get in a rain or something. But it's going to be around 6 foot for the weekend, looks like. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn on 23rd Street. We're looking at a pretty decent tide today. The low tide is going to be at 7:13 this morning, and then it's coming in all the way until 9:57 tonight. It's going to be aided by a southeast wind coming in at about 10, so it'll be pretty strong. So it's going to be a pretty strong moving tide, a good incoming tide for afternoon fishing if you get a chance. Okay, we're going to do a short weather because I'm spending as much time as we can with our special guest. So let's take a break now, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, folks, and welcome to our special guest this morning, Crystal Gainey and Lindsay Kiefer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we've been wanting to get these ladies on the show. They're special ladies and very talented in their field. So tell the folks about yourself.
My name's Lindsay Kiefer. I'm a boy mom of 3, live in Sneads, Florida, Jackson County. Lived in Jackson County about 9 years now, going on 10 years. Track wounded game, ride horses, hang out with this crazy
Crystal.
lady.
All right.
I'm from Vernon, grew up there all my life, Washington County. I run track and recovery dogs, help people find lost deer. I'm also a nuisance trapper and run my family's business down on Cypress Springs, little canoe and kayak shop.
That's cool. The first person I ever had to come to the studio and on the back of a truck on a dog box. What do you have on your dog box?
I got 4 beavers.
4 beavers. She's trapped some nuisance beavers. And
Nice and good ones.
Didn't have time to take them off, so we'll get a picture of them later before we go out.
Yeah.
So, tell the folks about your business, you know, what you do.
So it's really volunteer service, mostly. We're volunteer wounded game recovery. We run tracking dogs. We're members of the UBT, which is United Blood Trackers Organization. It's the only nationwide blood tracking certification process, if you will. You can, any state that it's legal to run a tracking dog, if you're UBT certified, you can. So that's what.
We just go help folks. You call us, you shoot a deer, you call us, we'll come and help you pick it up. It doesn't matter how much money you got. Yeah, we do accept tips and donations because gas ain't free. But whether you got it to give or you don't, we don't want any hunter to not get the help they need, and we don't want any deer to be left behind.
That's right. We always tell someone we don't want them to feel like they can't afford to have their deer recovered.
None of them.
We'll come to them for a handshake.
That's right.
That's awesome. And it's not a 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock job.
No, and it's not even daylight to dark. It's from the time your eyes open till they close, and sometimes they close in the back seat of my truck, and that's just where they open in the morning.
Oh yeah, we've slept on dams up.
Yeah, we sleep
just south of Lake Eufaula.
We'll
cool.
track all day sometimes, but it takes a lot to try to help everybody. We got a lot of people around too. We've got a lot of good friends that have great dogs. We've actually helped them get their dogs up and going so that we can trust them. You know, if we can't make it, then we're always going to dispatch somebody. I can tell you there's not many tracks, if they call either one of us, there's not many people that don't get any help at all throughout the season. And we cover the whole Southeast, 3 states.
Yeah.
So
That's the real deal. Tell us about your dogs. What kind of dog you got?
Well, you can find us on Tri-State Tracking and Recovery group on Facebook, and that's
Headhunters Working Dogs.
Yep, Crystal runs Headhunters Working Dogs. The Tri-State Tracking and Recovery group is actually a group of several trackers in the southeast area, so
That's how you
Georgia,
get
Florida,
help.
Alabama.
If you need help and you don't have
Yeah.
our number, go on Facebook on either the Tri-State Tracking and Recovery or the Headhunters. That's important because a lot of people don't realize that service is available.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you can
you're
go
right.
right on social media, and if, like Crystal said, if we can't find a tracker for you, if we can't come, we'll find one for you. We run all different kinds of dogs.
I run labs.
Crystal runs mostly labs. She's got all different kinds of dogs
I
too.
do.
She's got little German hunting terriers and stuff.
I do, but I like
I've
the
got
labs for
bloodhounds, Dogo Argentinos. We've got blue tick. We've got Ladner, blackmouth cur. I've got a spicy lab, I call her, off
I
of
got
Crystal's
Poodle
yard.
Pit Cross.
Oh, yeah?
We've
got the dogs.
We say variety pack.
Yeah.
They all work a little different. They've all got a little different style, and where some have weaknesses and the others have strengths.
Yeah. So when so someone calls, I got I wounded a 20-point buck. I know they're excited, so they say all the time.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You got to get out here. So when you get there, I know the old days we just look for a couple of drops of blood.
Let me give you some advice. First, everybody has this conversation about is it caliber or shot placement that cost more people their deer. I take over 200 tracks a season, and I can tell you what it is. It's neither one of them. It's tracking too early, pushing your deer too far when it's still alive. You're not giving enough time to lay down and die. You cannot shoot them and grab them by the tail. You will not recover them.
That's a good point.
And yes, I mean, we sometimes have to get permission for 3 or 4 properties to be able to go miles to find a deer that's even gut shot that they get down and want to go in there 30, 45 minutes later. And, and it's not that we mind, but that is what will cost you more deer.
That's a good
Absolutely.
point. Very good point.
Definitely. Then call us. If you don't like the shot sight, the deer don't drop and you don't like the sign that you're seeing, give us a call. You don't have to even, you can call us and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or if you get in there, don't go more than about 150, 200 yards. Even if you're following blood, if you don't find them, back up just a little bit. Wait, let them die, give them time. A dead deer ain't gonna go nowhere and a live one needs to lay. Time is on your side.
And it's so important that you recover that deer.
If you're gonna shoot them,
gonna shoot
that's
you, you wanna recover.
I say if it's worth throwing around at, it's worth putting a dog on.
What
That's
happens
right.
when y'all run into a natural barrier like a creek or river or something?
We cross it.
We crossed it.
We
Yeah.
cross it, whether it be swimming or walking or building us a bridge, we will cross
There's
it.
a lot of times that the deer do take the dogs into water.
I
Heck, I just had a buddy, old LD. I took him tracking with me the other weekend, and dogs took a live deer down into the Chattahoochee River. And deer ended up drowning there in the river, and we had to retrieve him. You got to retrieve that game. We didn't have a boat. We didn't have a canoe. Lance went swimming.
You got to take some video of something like that. That's
Yeah.
We got
that's really
some
cool.
videos. We've got some videos of that, actually.
Next time you come on, I want you to bring some of those videos.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be
The only
cool.
thing we don't cross is property lines.
That's
Get
right.
permission. Know your neighbors before hunting
That's
season
right.
starts. It'll save you a lot
We're
of
very
trouble.
adamant on that.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yes.
Good point on that.
Know your neighbors.
Yeah.
You get to be friends, at least know where they stand, know what they're about. That way you're not sitting there after you've done shot the deer trying to, well, I don't know who this is. I don't
That's
know who
right.
hunts there,
Yeah.
We'll finding ourselves standing on property lines, waiting for permission with the dogs wanting to continue to track, but we have to now wait for
Good point.
permission before we can go ahead. And then, that kind of puts us behind if we're, lined up. If we've got 3-4 tracks behind somebody,
Or if
that
they
puts
just
us
can't get a
behind.
hold of them, then they've just lost that deer, and then you find out a
That's
month or two
right.
later, they're like, yeah, go anytime you want,
Oh.
but if you
And
just
most
spoke
people are good
about it
about
before,
that.
yeah, most
Yeah,
people
they're
are,
good about that.
but
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
speak about it beforehand, you
Right.
know.
Good point. Good point. All right.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Sit here with Lindsay Kiefer and Crystal Gainey. Their name sounds alike. It's hard. Okay, so that's Crystal. This is Lindsay.
That's
All
right.
So we've got all kind of pictures and stories and all to tell, as all outdoors and outdoor ladies can. So y'all, let's get started on one. What about the best friend buck or What's that story?
I'll let Crystal tell the best friend buck story because she tells it really good.
Okay.
That's because she's the hero in it, so
Okay.
of course I have to tell it good. We go into this buck. This is a 230-pound rutting buck in South Georgia.
Whoa.
And we go in there. He's been leg shot. Our dogs go straight in. Exactly where they jumped, backed out, that deer went and laid back down and stayed right there within 70 yards of where they backed out. So when we go in, the dogs go to barking, and I have this one particular dog that if you hear her barking, you better know. You better go in there ready because she's not going to bark unless he's fighting her hard. So we go in there, and it's a deer trail. It's thick on either side, and we're walking like a train, and we've got the hunters behind us. And as soon as I come around that corner, he locks onto me, and I holler, "Whoa, buck, 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 back up, back up." He never even run, never went anywhere. And he locked onto me, and I saw him go to dropping his head, and she went to pulling her gun. So I just went to calling dogs off. I jumped out to the side of the way. She had to put a couple shots in her, and the deer run about 20 more yards, and the dogs got it down.
Right.
Well, I go to running in there, and when what we do is we'll run in there and grab them by the horns, and then dispatch them as quick as we can. Well, I go to running in there to grab him by the horns, and once again he looks at me and drops his horns, and he goes to come up, and Lindsay comes from behind and grabs him by one side and tucks his nose behind him, and we dispatched him, and she ripped her britches. We call it the best friend buck.
I've
big
still
buck
got those
britches.
pants.
That's a good story.
Yeah,
Good
it was-
story. All right. Now, what about the muzzleloader and Crenshaw buck? What's that one story?
Oh yeah, Crenshaw County muzzleloader record. That's Crenshaw County, Alabama.
154 7/8. Nice
Yeah.
buck, real nice buck.
Very big buck.
And we got called to go up there. He had sign of gut, backed out, knew not to push the deer, which is important, backed out and called me. We decided to let it lay for a good solid 12 hours because that's, honestly, a gut shot's going to take a while. So we decided to let it lay and leave it alone. And when we took the dogs in there, it didn't take them too awful long. He went into a real hard thicket, but it was a real nice buck. Wound up winning the big buck bounty up there at Fletcher's Outdoors.
Yeah, it was an awesome track. It was a difficult track.
It was
not a single drop of blood.
no sign, nothing.
And he
had
was
a little white hair at the shots,
over
I
200
believe.
yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Without being pushed.
Wow.
So it
Yeah,
just
just-
goes to show you how far you can make a good fatal shot, and they can still travel far. Especially a buck and rut. We seem to find they just have other things driving them
Right.
aside from thinking about being hurt.
They don't feel hurt. They don't feel hungry. All they feel is love.
Okay. So you're in Crenshaw County. Let's go down to Blakely, Georgia now. What's that story on
All
Blakely,
right.
Georgia?
So Blakely, Georgia, we've got a picture here that we'll post. Of Mason Stovall. This is one of my favorite tracks of the year. I've tracked for this boy and his dad several times. We go up to Early County, Georgia. I tracked a buck for Mason early on in the season. That was his target buck. Major was the deer's name. Him and his dad. His dad is James Stovall. He's Florida State record holder actually, and Mason is incredible at archery. He's youth 3D archery champion, state champion, I believe.
Cool.
12 years old,
Yeah,
hunting
12
out
years
of a
old.
saddle, bow
Yeah,
hunting out
like
of
a
a
man,
saddle.
bow hunting out of a
Yes.
saddle. He's pretty incredible. So early in the year, he shot Major. It was a high back shot. We ended up tracking him a good long ways. I told James and Mason that I believed the deer to be alive. He ended up showing back on camera not long afterwards. So that was great confirmation that he did survive a shot like that. You even on a good shot, what you think would be a good shot, they'll still live. And then he ended up shooting this buck. This was his dad's target deer. And you know what? His dad couldn't have been more proud shooting his dad's deer. But I think he ended up taking his dad's number 1 and number 2 deer this season. So.
Dad's not going to take them next year.
But we sure
cool.
love going and tracking for some of these people. The youth. We
Especially
really absolutely
kids.
love that.
Not even just kids, anybody's first. That we're suckers for that.
Oh yeah.
Anybody's first, we'll put in extra
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're going to take a final break and come right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Sitting here, a very interesting show this morning. Hope you're really enjoying it as much as I am. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time, only one time today, 11:06 to 1:06. It has something to do with our full moon, I am sure. Okay, we have something coming up the first weekend in March. Tell us about this.
Yes, sir. So we are hosting, our Tri-State Tracking and Recovery group on Facebook is hosting Florida's first ever blood tracking seminar. So we are actually involved, like I told you, with the United Blood Trackers. This is Florida's first ever UBT testing event.
Wow.
So it's pretty exciting.
And where's it going to be?
It's going to be at Lily Pad Adventures in Camilton. We'll be doing a Friday, Saturday, Sunday testing every day. We're doing a puppy day on Friday. If you have a young dog, you can reach out to me on Facebook. Bring your young dog on Friday and learn some more about tracking. Saturday, we're going to have a fantastic seminar. Crystal's going to be doing shot site analysis demonstrations, hands-on stuff. We'll have trackers, UBT judges from across the country. Great information. You don't have to just be a dog hunter or a tracker to come enjoy this. Anybody that hunts is going to enjoy this.
Watching the dogs, and that's right up the road here, folks, in Camilton. I can promise you there'll be some Panhandle Outdoor viewers there.
Yes, sir.
There'll be some
yes,
of those
sir.
there.
It'll be a really good time. We're even doing campfire stories on Saturday night.
I like that.
So it's going to be fantastic.
You know, you're not just, not tracking deer, but sometimes when a kid gets lost and all, sometimes you do all kind of tracking, I guess.
Absolutely. We track lost pets and all.
Lost pets and everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do.
It's amazing the nose on those dogs. Tell us about what makes your dog different and what other people make mistakes on. You mentioned that.
Yeah, well, we our dogs are trained extremely different than what people really think. We train on the interdigital gland. Our dogs will only focus on that one deer that's been shot. Now, a lot of times there's a mistake that's made and people want to try a dog that, oh, well, it'll find a deer, it'll follow blood, and that's fine if you want to try that dog, but you really need to weigh in the consequences. If this is your trophy, do you really want to try a dog out, or do you want to call somebody who tracks 200 deer a season? Like you drive an $80,000 truck, if it tears up, you're going to take it to the VOTEC and let the students work on it, or you're going to take it to the dealership.
Good analogy.
Like just weigh your options on it. That's all. Because whenever you put another dog on it, especially an untrained dog, it'll reduce your recovery rates by at least 25%. And if you get in there too early, where that deer may have laid down and expired, you've pushed it over 3 property lines, and you may not have permission to even go get it.
And they don't always bleed either.
They don't always bleed. We track on the interdigital gland, which is it's the gland between the deer's toes. It puts out a hormone that tells everything that deer feels. Well, when you shoot it, he puts out a fear-wounded hormone, and he'll go to running. If that deer's going to die, the dogs know that. If that deer stops and calms down and says, oh, wait, hang on, I'm okay, well, that hormone calms down and the dogs smell it, and he's now a live, healthy deer. No more than I want my hog dogs to trash on a deer, I do not want my tracking dogs to trash on a live, healthy deer. They'll go to that point and they'll say, no, Mama, it's not going to happen. He's good to go.
They shut off like a light switch. It's
and
incredible.
And that is the difference. They will not take another track in the woods. They won't pick up a hot track. You can know if they jump a deer and push it, it's going to be your deer, because they're not even trained on just a deer, just blood. It is that one specific hormone that they put out, and that's what they do,
Yeah,
we have people that'll want to take their deer hounds out. But if you take a deer hound out, we're tracking, sometimes we do practice tracks 24 hours old. So, you take a deer hound out, they're going to hit that hottest track. We'll go on a track, there might be 20 deer that have come in between that one deer being shot and when we're tracking. And our dogs are still going to pinpoint that wounded deer and follow only that track.
Back out and give it longer sometimes. Sometimes it's not about the hotter track. But another thing that causes a lot of people to lose deer, or that they really need to consider when calling a dog, if you go in there, when you grid search, if you're not seeing anything, no sign, you have this resource available, just, take advantage of it. Anybody can afford it. But if you go in there and say you've got 5 people grid searching, I say you walk that blood trail, you're walking the deer's trail, and it's just like walking through the mud and going in your mama's house, and you turn around and look and you see every step you made. Well, those dogs smell every step that you make, and they have to work through all of that before they can decipher what you put down and what the deer put down. So if you're not seeing anything, just go ahead and back out and call us, and that way the dogs, it won't take near as long, and it'll make it a lot more possible to recover the deer.
Good point. Real quick on nuisance and all, you're talking about beavers and all. What else do y'all do on nuisance recovery, real quick?
Well, pretty much about anything. Don't do no bats or nothing, but I do a lot of farmland nuisance, which includes coyotes, predators, beavers,
Okay,
you
all
know.
right, beavers, okay.
Yeah, beavers is my number one thing. Now, that's most of the calls that I get. They do a lot more damage than most people realize, and that seems to be the biggest problem that there is around here.
Beavers on
that's
farmland.
Beavers on farmland.
Lindsay, how do both of y'all, your dog bill, food bill's got to be every month. I know feed
Shoo,
dogs.
yeah. I got horses too. I breed
Oh,
performance
no.
quarter horses, so we won't even talk about feed bills.
Yeah.
My husband won't like if I put that out publicly.
We dang sure send some kids to college in a dang hours. Just saying.
Okay, so what's okay? We got just a minute left. Real quick, anything else we left out that you want to cover?
Yeah, even if, no matter if you you hunt in the state of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, anywhere in this country, really, if you need help getting a dog, you can contact us. You can get on the Tri-State Tracking and Recovery page on Facebook. You can
That's
Google
right.
our numbers. It's not that hard.
If you don't have social
can get
media, you
you
can
help.
go on unitedbloodtrackers.org.
Yep.
There's a find a tracker option. You can type in your
Interactive
location. Boom, it'll pull up a tracker for your area.
Yeah. So just get a hold of us if you ever need any help, if you question it, if you're not sure what to do, if you're interested in learning more about tracking your own deer. It doesn't have to be about dogs. Come to the seminar the first weekend of March at Lily Pad Adventures. I mean, it's going to be a big event,
That's
and
cool.
there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Like you,
Oh, yeah.
I never knew what I never knew until I went to my first seminar, and I didn't even know I didn't know.
You thought you were an expert.
I
all of a
did,
sudden,
man.
you know.
I thought I knew.
We always say there ain't no two tracks the same, and there's always something more to learn.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
yeah. So there'll be a lot of experience shared.
So you grew up in outdoors up in Vernon. Your folks do what now?
Yes, sir. Well, my family's got Cypress Springs Adventures,
Yeah.
a canoe and kayak shop off of Holmes Creek up there, and I just
That
grew
was
up.
where we met.
That's where we met.
No kidding.
That was where
That's
we
cool.
met. I was big, pregnant. We wanted to go on a canoe trip down Holmes Creek. We lived in Cottondale. My husband
Look
and
at
I
us
went
now.
out. And I told Crystal, I said, shoot, if I have this baby, you gonna come out on the river and fetch me? She said,
I'll
we'll
come
do
and
it.
get you.
All right, we got to get out of here. Thank y'all so much. That
Yes,
was a great
sir.
show.
Yeah, it
This
was
is
nice to
wonderful.
meet you. Thank
We'll
you.
see y'all some more. Y'all do something good today for fellow man. Thank y'all for watching our show. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.